Freeman, and today we are playing Squee Dubious Monarch in Red Black Rock, although a slightly more aggressive version of the deck than I have been playing, largely because we are playing Squee. We've essentially cut Kroxa from the archetype to make room for Squee, where I think they kind of occupy the same space, where they are your threat with escape, and they give you a mana sink in the late game. They give you some value to surveil over with DRC in this version, or discard a Seasoned Pyromancer. However, what's really nice about Squee when you compare Squee to Kroxa is that it's not an embarrassing card to play for the mana investment, where Kroxa for 2 mana, your opponent discards a card, maybe loses 3, is a pretty bad rate in Modern. And of course, that 2 mana is an investment for later when you have like this, escapable Titan. But Squee is a Goblin Rabble. The front half of Squee is Goblin Rabblemaster, It is much stronger than I think like almost any other escape card you see. Just like this is already the rate you get for something. I think it just has escape on it, which is very, very strong. So I'm playing this in the more aggressive build. We kind of have besides the scam variants of red black and I usually play a bit of a bigger version with Liliana the Veil, Kroxa, of course, no Seasoned Pyromancer, one more land. But I think if you're playing Squee, you want to be a bit more aggressive with Channeler. So we've gone ahead and trimmed the Lilianas, trimmed down the Turok, trimmed Voidwalkers, just to be a bit more aggressive today. That's the list. Obviously, we played tons and tons of Rakdos. I think that Squee is very likely or very possibly a big sweeper from a big sleeper from Dominaria. Kind of in some ways not that flashy, but I played a little bit with it Friday in the Jund list. The card was very, very strong. I think that this is a deck that maximizes the potential a bit more. Dirty Dan, thank you for the 4 months. Thank you for the haircut. Appreciation. Puddle with the 18. Won my LGS Tour Championship yesterday with Living In. Beat Directos game second finals. Awesome. Yeah, I think that Squee is very, very exciting. It's also just escape 4 cards instead of 5 when you compare this to Kroxa. It played very, very well the other day, and I think it's going to be a bit better here. Obviously, again, this version is more aggressive than the Rakdos builds you usually play like Liliana, right? But I think that you are very incentivized to be more aggressive. Okay, let's keep this. I'm going to play Crypt Channeler on turn 1, so I could play Voidwalker on turn 2. How do Raider feel? Very good. It's felt good the entire time I've been playing the Aether Mage's Touch version. I just also developed Bant Company at the same time and wanted to play that more at my local RCQs, but the Aether Mage's Touch Reanimator is a great deck. I lost playing for the invite with it. I felt very good about it all day. I did mull to 4 game 1 in my last round, and then my opponent had a draw that lined up particularly well against mine game 2, where it was 4-color Omnath. They had Flusterstorm for my end of turn Aether Mage's Touch into and Dispute for my Teferi, which was just so brutal. I lost. And the reality is, this is something I've really come to, understand a bit more, or remember, I guess, from playing all these, modern RCQs, is that Modern is just, it's just such a swingy format, There's just... there's just a lot of variance. Oh boy, we're up against Mill. Which I'm pretty happy, I guess, to have all these Squees, huh? My post is high. I'm not a big fan, but it's cool to play against a famous MTG player. I don't know what to say to stuff like that. Gee, I'll just say what I say all the time, huh? Hi, I don't really like you, but I like that you're famous. I don't like you very much as a person or, a human being, but it is cool that you're famous. That is pretty sick. Ooh, main deck bridge. Dude, stop with the ensnaring bridges, opponents. Damn it. Although if I can keep those archive traps stranded in hand. Yeah, if I go channel Sokenzan this turn. Oh, then I have to draw a land to Den of the Bugbear, so I guess I should. Seasoned Pyromancer. 50-50 tongue-in-cheek riff on comes to big fan comments. Maybe. Yeah, 50-50. I think that's actually good. Good guess. We're not 3-turn clock with the 1/1s. So the problem with making the 1/1s is I have to fetch to activate the Den of the Bugbear next turn with this hand, and I really can't afford to do that. I think this is a 3-turn clock anyways, though. Alright, so this is... Yeah, I even can get an up... Yeah, this is... I put them to 3. I top tick the Bolt, which is awesome. So even if my opponent draws like Field of Ruin and decks me, I can upkeep both them and win. Should be awesome. Yeah, it's still down a board. They get a bit more information about the list, though. Okay, lucky. Against Mill, I usually just like terminates. Voidwalker's fine. Makes me a little bit more aggressive, too. I do like the 1-mana removal spells to get rid of the crabs. Hearse is definitely better against Founding the Third Path, too. Now that's, you know, new card in the archetype. I think I'll just play 2 Hearse, 2 Turok on the draw. I may play 3rd on the play, but 62 is also fine against Mill. Yeah, definitely weird matchups today. Yeah, and Surgical too. I think Alpine Moon versus Field of Ruin is a little narrow, but it could be better than I think, I guess. Boggle 3 months, thank you. I'm keeping any card on top here against the crab, by the way. Although, I guess I actually want to draw that before they crab it away. Let's get aggressive. Okay, so I'm not drawing that anymore. Totally okay with them surgicling freaking Mishra's Bauble, though. Yeah, I agree. I think that tone in text can be very easy to misinterpret. Also, I don't know. I get people saying weird stuff to me all the time these days. Ooh, Chandler's still on top anyways. Yeah, the amount of just, I don't know. The Saturday tournament especially, over the weekend, was just like a lot of weird champing. Ooh, Mill over Squee. Great that we just still have the Bauble in the yard, too. Okay, I'm going to play with my Voidwalker. I just played at RCQ Saturday, and it was like a little bit out of the like range of areas I usually play, and so maybe like people were, I don't know, I feel like such a douchebag, but people definitely treat me like very differently now than they used to when I used to be a Magic grinder. Not in like a bad way, but they just like I'm just a guy, and people just get a little weird. Slinger, 8 months, thank you. I played Esper Reanimator this weekend. I'd honestly known I was going to play Esper Reanimator for a long time. I just really also wanted to keep it under wraps because I've had several opponents like just know what I'm playing against like the first round of these RCQs a few times, and I definitely feel like at least a couple of times it's influenced my opponent's mulligan decisions, so I just wanted to keep it under wraps, especially when I'm playing a deck like Reanimator. Aether Mage's Touch Reanimator is a great deck, very powerful, consistent. A lot of players don't know how to play around Aether Mage's Touch very well. I lost playing for an invite again. Big sad, whatever. Okay. Tech. Mono red fires with Thought-Knot Seer. I think that Thought-Knot Seer is not a very good Pioneer card. Is kind of my evaluation of that spell, I guess. Hold on. So I can Squee attack with Squee Turok. They block, they take 3, not that much. I feel like I just get them out of cards in hand. I know, and I'm gonna try to win with Voidwalker on like Hideous Laughter. I could have attacked first, but they're just gonna block, so I don't think it matters. I'm glad I did. Yeah, probably need to draw another Voidwalker to win. I do still have 2 in the deck to win the 21 card library. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are better 4-drops to be playing, like, or like at the very least. Oh, you're playing Thought-Knot Seer over Karn. Karn always feels so good to me in the Fires deck. Obviously, you get like a real sideboard, but which is somewhat valuable. Okay, they can also activate their Shellduck Isle here if they have it, and we milled over one of the Voidwalkers, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that Thought-Knot Seer without Eldrazi Temple in the format, it seems to be like really anemic. This is a format with like Lightning Axe and Fatal Push and Cavalier and freaking Old Growth Troll. All these cards line up so well against Thought-Knot Seer. I know that you're kind of incidentally playing a lot of colorless cards, but I just think that Thought-Knot Seer is like too weak of a spell to play. Okay, this actually is fine because I'm not winning by attacking anyways. I don't care that they gain 37. I'm winning by drawing another Voidwalker and milling my opponent out. Although I only have one more Voidwalker in the deck. But that's what I'm going to draw to here. Alright, so hold on. I'm milling them for, theoretically, 14 and 14, which is 28. 47 minus 28, 23. Oh, that's not even enough. Okay, we'll go to game 3. Got to play. I'm going to play an extra Turok. Maybe I'll cut a Squee since I'm so likely to mill one over. Oh, the Squee's pretty good. I'll cut a Seasoned Pyromancer. Why not Squee away Delirium? I mean, they had no cards in their hand. Guess I could have done that earlier. Attack for a little bit more. Couldn't you mill them and hit Tasha's for second Walker? Yeah, I guess so. Do we mill over Spyro? I don't think not that badly. We're gonna mill over us Spyro. I don't think we're gonna be like just out of Spyros to mill over. Okay. So I will say that I also really like the 1 mana removal spells over Anger. Like I want to be playing Strangle over Anger, just to have like that 1 mana play. I think that's pretty important. And I recommend playing Karn over Thought-Knot Seer with like the more traditional Karn package. Chandra Awakened Inferno is also just like such a bad sideboard card, or at the very least it's really overrated in my opinion, where I just don't think having like all this extra equity against blue-white control matters that much. And like the control decks in Pioneer are like pretty uncommon. They're not a bad matchup for you anyways. You just don't need to play Chandra Awakened and Inferno on the sideboard for the control matchup. It's also like not even that good against them. It's like it is definitely a beatable card. Spur 4 months, Sanchez the 12, and Ray with the Twitch Prime. Thank you. Warping Well is a really good suggestion, I think. I like the Warping Well suggestion for that deck. We milled over a Squee. Let me just attack, see if I flip something off of Ragavan. Fractured Sanity. If I mill them here, I can just go mill them, play Hearse, right? It's like I'm not sure that this is right, but like I think against like knowing that they have Bridge in their deck. Oh no, this is triple blue. It's triple blue. Never mind. Okay, we'll just Pivot back to the regular plan. Yeah, but with them having bridge in the deck, I think I kind of like this thought at least. I also maybe just should be hearsing myself of creatures pretty aggressively to try to not get crypt incursions. They see Rugscape shifted to one of the challenge a few days ago. It won a challenge recently too, or like a Pro Tour qualifier, I think. Dugula, thank you for the 11 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, there's the bridge. Guess I'm just getting 2 lands this turn. Oh, then maybe I should have saved this for surgical. Although if they surgical me this turn, it's not that bad. No artifact removal seems rough. I don't know, like I know that we've started off the stream and we've played against 2 ensnaring bridge decks in a row, which is just like very weird and frustrating. I have artifact removal. I have engineered explosives for the Hammer Time matchup, which feels like by far the most relevant thing to have, especially with Rhinos coming back. Feels incredibly relevant to have. I think that Kolagon's command against Hammer is fine, but it is like I would sideboard Hidetsugu Consumes All. I would sideboard like a few other cards, a few cards besides Kolagon's Command or Shattering Spree against Hammer. Like I would want the first Hidetsugu Consumes All before those. And so like I know we played against Etron and Mill. They're both main decking and Snaring Bridge, and it sucks I don't have an out to it. But you know, I have discard spells. I have a few different ways to maneuver around it. It's just a weird start to the day, huh? Ooh, love that draws on a card. What do you think about the philosophy in cards like Squee, which basically has escape but spelled out instead because it's not a set with escape theme? I would say that my opinion on that has probably changed a couple times over the years. I don't think I have a super strong stance on, you know, this card having escape. It doesn't say escape. I think it's better for new players and makes the game a bit easier for new players, and I think that anything that makes the game a bit easier for new players is probably correct. Okay, on the play, I'm going to keep Taya, 3 months, thank you. Very good hand here. Could maybe lead on the basic swamp here. Ooh, we're playing against the Sack Scam deck. Witness is really good. I've been really meaning to play some more of this deck too. I think I was also thinking that like maybe Squee would be better than Kroxa in this list. I wanted to try it first here, but I thought that Squee might be better than Kroxa in the obviously it's just like a one of, but it's got a lot of synergy with Goblin Bombardment. It's a bit more aggressive. Maybe Crooks is better with the Village Rites smell like a Rebirth though. Although it's pretty good with Village Rites. Oh, opponent's just going for the turn 1 4/4 Double Striker, which is fine. I think we're gonna be okay against it though. They pitched the Seasoned Pyromancer. So they have Sokenzan, Bloodstained Mire, Unknown in hand. R and TA, I think with 7 months. Would an instant source that gives 1 creature haste for the turn and 1 red Phyrexian mana for 1 red Phyrexian mana be OP or unplayable? Well, there's possibly a range of playability between OP and unplayable. There's definitely like a lot of interesting applications with that card and like Phoenix decks, Prowess decks. But I think that you want that card for Jeskai Ascendancy, to be honest. I think Jeskai Ascendancy is why you want that kind of effect. Coldre, 24 months, thank you. Happy 2 years. Okay, I'm not sure what my opponent's thinking about here. I know 2 of their 3 cards. Yeah, but it's also definitely a card like that. 0 mana, Phyrexian, target creature gets haste. That card is never going to be, you know, playable outside of like a good combo deck for sure, you know. So here's kind of my prediction for whenever we go back to Phyrexia. I think that there will be Phyrexian spells. I think there will be Phyrexian spells. None of them will be castable for 0 mana. I might just discard both discard spells next turn. It's close. If they just drew a land, it's so bad. And I kind of want the extra blocker for the Fury anyways. Bathrobe King with the 5 months, thank you. All will be the Dismember style, I think the same. Yeah. Or, you know, there's a ton of Phyrexian cards that, like, nobody remembers because, like, you know, they aren't castable for colorless or just 1 colorless mana or 0 mana. I think that there will be no Phyrexian spell that you can cast for 0. With like, well, maybe they like reprint Surgical Extraction, like exactly Surgical Extraction. But I don't think you'll see like beyond that very much. Gut shot? You maybe gut shot. I think that Wizards is like I mean, that was the problem with Phyrexian spells. It wasn't all Phyrexian spells. It was the ones that you could play for 0 mana or potentially just for like 1 colorless that break the color price of 1. And I think that you're gonna see. I predict at least that you're gonna see Wizards just kind of playing a bit scared. Okay, so if my opponent has they're gonna Sokenzan mystery card and another mystery card for turn. If those 2 mystery cards are Fury red card, we lose. Yeah. Another thing about like gut shot, to a lesser extent surgical, but like, yeah, bringing like mutagenic growth, gut shot to Pioneer would be really big. It'd be really like, you know, game format changing dynamic. Not that they're not open to changing the dynamic of the format. Oh yeah, the gut shot and the Eldrazi matchup, classic. Playing scared, sort of how we're told WotC was conservative, design artifacts to Kaladesh Revolt because of previous mistake with artifact sets. I don't know. People also do this. They talk about, artifact sets, you know, but I kind of want to get the Voidwalker down here, chump block it for another turn. Their last card is a mystery card. Yeah, I guess I should probably Thoughtseize and then terminate the Fury. They could have an Undying effect pretty easy. Okay, play this now because they have the Undying effect. I don't know. Like, I will say this. Card design from Wizards since, like, this whatever the set after Kaldheim has been, or besides, you know, Modern Horizons 2 is, like, obviously pushed, but standard set design for, like, over a year has been, like, they've been playing it super safe. They have not been taking many risks when it comes to standard set design for, like, a long time now. And, I think that they've hit a very good stride. They haven't done almost anything standard set wise in the last memorable past. I could leave back something to block the witness. Yeah. Throne of Eldraine was 3 years ago. Kaldheim wasn't too bad. There were pretty big design mistakes in Kaldheim. I liked Kaldheim a lot. But there was like definitely pretty big design mistakes. But like, I don't know. I think like the whole player base is still like emotionally scarred from the 2019-2020 era of design. But I think that so far 2021 and 2021 I liked a lot. 2022 has been good so far. We only have one more set. Don't want to die to this Tomb of Arami token, I guess. Let's fire up the Den so that we don't have to trade Ragavan for Witness, though. Yeah. I'm not saying that Wizards like is incapable of making these mistakes. I'm not saying that they you should like not forgive them for making mistakes too, because like I absolutely agree. Like the balancing act of like designing cards well and designing cards where they're both interesting and and like exciting and fun and replayable, while also like not breaking the game, is a very, very difficult tightrope to walk, and especially with the quantity of cards that they're putting out too. And I think for the most part they do pretty good. And I would say that like I think that I do feel like, however, it feels like there's been some kind of like fundamental change in their like design philosophies since that really, really bad era of 2020 or 2019, 2020. I feel like they've really I think they've changed their something in their process, you know. Because there really has been a very clear, distinct shift in design, and my confidence was incredibly low in 2019, 2020. It's been like very high, like the last like year and a half, almost 2 years. Hey Dom, 6 months, thank you. Glad you're liking the stream. Appreciate you. The channel lands are too good. I mean, it's obviously fine for there to be cards you dislike. I don't know that I would agree the channel lands are too good. So I don't like the design of the channel lands. I don't like it when they print one color lands that enter untapped unconditionally and have an upside. That are like almost strictly better basics outside of the context of like Wasteland Blood Moon. I agree that I don't like that design. But I will also say I want to cut all the Ragavans in the draw. Also doesn't feel like a very good Squee matchup. I'll say this, though. My ideas and thoughts on card design in Magic has changed a lot over the last like 2 years, also 3 years, where balance is not the most important thing. I think fun and I think fun and enjoying the format is the most important thing when it comes to card design. And obviously balance is a big part of enjoying the format, but I think that you can have cards that are intentionally pushed, like the channel lands, where you only get to play like one or two, and it's a bit better than a mountain and it's exciting, but it doesn't really fundamentally change that much, you know. Image 2 is a mistake. A fine take to have. I will also say we do have a little bit of a rule here that I think we can make like an exception when we're having conversations like this, but you know, this chat box is not your complaint box for specifically Modern Horizons 2 and Magic in general. I like to play the game. This is not the forum to air your grievances. I do like to make a little bit of an exception for that rule when we are talking about card design or we're talking about design mistakes. This deck is inspired by one of your lists. Do you have any coaching? Okay. Plugging CFB Pro and MTGO chat. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to close the floodgates a little. Omnath, the last relic of OG Fire design. There's maybe like a few others after that, but Omnath is like, yeah, maybe like the last like super playable. No, it's like Teferi and Omnath are like the really common playable. I only saw Lucy. I didn't see you. I thought that she opened the door by herself.
Oh, Lucy, come here.
Oh yeah, they're playing Undying Evil, so their list is definitely a little different.
I'm gonna sit in your chair.
So I bet they just got their Unburst for like more lands than Undying Evil.
Come here, Lucy. Come here.
What was the bad design in Kaldheim? Tybalt's Trickery and Valky destroyed Modern. Destroyed a lot of the older formats. Like, it completely broke the game. Oh. Feet cam, huh? So the tape keeps falling a little bit. We need to get better tape.
So she's acting weird like yesterday. After she pooped. But I didn't see any. But
Did you check the same spot?
yeah. What's it called? Did you see the fluff that was outside?
No, I didn't.
So I think she got in trouble. There's some fluff that she got, and I threw it away, but I don't know where it came from.
Okay, I don't know what you're describing. Yesterday, Lucy pooped, and then the Roomba drove over the poop, and now there's poop all under the Roomba, and I'm cleaning it tonight. Let me move Lucy a little closer. Lucy, yeah. There Good, Lucy.
No.
Yeah, there's room, there's poop all under the room, but it's crazy. It's it's pretty funny and also like very gross. Am I discarding both spells here? I'm discarding at least one for sure. I think I'm okay to just discard the Inquisition. I really don't want to give them the Urborg either. Do I have a hose? So that's the thing. I can't hose down the Roomba, right? Because it's a Roomba. It's gonna like be destroyed if I hose it down. Oh, so I should have attacked the Voidwalker. Take out the battery. I guess that would work, right? Yeah, rice, huh? That'll work. Buy a new one from Amazon and return the poop-covered one. Man, that's a pretty good line. It's a pretty good line. Yeah, Esther says Roombas are like $400. This one was a gift from my parents. I don't really want to spend $400 on a Roomba. I would rather clean up the poop than spend $400. HelloFresh doesn't pay that well, you know. Okay. Squee in the yard. I have to kill them before they Tomb of Arabi me, though. Please don't do the Amazon thing. Yeah, I don't know if that was just. I thought that was like clearly a joke. I'm not going to scam Amazon with a poop-filled Roomba. Subathon for the Roomba. Alright, they do need to untap land to tomb me. There's an untapped land. So if I escape Squee, they block a 2-power creature. They take 5, 6, 7. Oh, they can block another one too. They take 6, 8, 9. 12 minus 2, 10. They're considering doing something besides making a 5/5 though. What happened to deck techs? Deck techs are on a 30-minute cooldown for channel points always. I have a Fury, but I can't Fury at instant speed. Okay, so I'm gonna, I think, just attack. Just attack with the Voidwalker, because I'm, what? This bluff doesn't make any sense. What am I? If I had a removal spell for the tomb, I would have attacked with everything. I'm just gonna be bluffing here, though. So whenever sends you deck type on deck? Yeah, kind of all the time, actually. I mean, not much you could do there. Okay, on the play, I actually really like Ragavan on the play against their deck, but on the draw, I'm not a big fan. Just like, well, I guess they still have Unlucky Witness. I want some number, though. Yeah, maybe we're like... No Turok. 3 Ragavan, 1 Squee. Maybe play 1 less discard spell. Let's do that. Stupid Graven Cairns. But it's also to multi 6. Gonna keep this one for sure. Put back the, I guess, Mountain actually. Are the Hearse good? Did they do Graveyard stuff? Yeah, I built their deck. Their deck's playing Bloodghast. Their deck's playing a Dying Evil. The deck plays. I played 1 Kroxa. We could play a Squee in that spot instead. Whoa, they brought in Leyline against me. Was I playing Leyline? Yeah, they're playing. Maybe, yeah, their list is definitely a bit different than the 75 I put together, but. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle that against the Leyline. Glad I trimmed on the Squee, huh? Or do I place a mill for the 3rd path? I mean, I would likely kind of like scrap the deck and rebuild it a little bit, where I think you also want to play Glimpse and 2 mana spells in general to go with your Founding the Third Path. And I haven't sat down to like just try to rebuild the deck, but the main phase is because of Undying Evil effects. Yeah, Leyline is not that bad for us. Leyline turns off Delirium for Channeler and Unholy Heat and stops me from escaping 1 copy of Kroxa. I would choose for my opponent to bring in Leyline against me. I'm not playing any Kroxa. Today we're playing Squee over Kroxa. With the thought that like when you play Squee for 3 mana, like you're just not like that's a pretty good rate for the card you're getting, and you're not spending dead mana like you are in Kroxa. Again, kind of just like a bit more of a theory than anything else, but it's been, I think, going pretty well so far. Pretty well. I think I'll play the Channeler here. If they have Seasoned Pyromancer, I can discard, you know, a spell. They're killing my Voidwalker anyways. Upkeep stop for the Channeler here. Only have 3 cards in their hand. Yeah, Fury definitely would not be ideal, but oh boy. Opponent is in deep. The death trigger does not happen because of the Voidwalker, so I think I'm gonna terminate this and just try to be as aggressive as possible. Did I see the 5-color Niv piles? Curious of my thoughts. I don't. When you say did I see the 5-color Niv piles? Oh, opponent. Oh no. I don't know what you're referring to. In what format? Oh, they also should have sacked too, even if the Voidwalker's not in play there. What about Braids in the Jund Sack deck? In Jund Sack specifically, you're playing Collected Company, and you can't play 4 mana creatures in your Collected Company deck. Or you almost never can, and Braids is not good enough that you want to, I think. That being said, I've been kind of looking at Braids a little bit in a green-black sacrifice or red-black sacrifice deck with Witch's Cottage. So, like, I think Witch's Cottage backs Braids is, like, a little bit interesting. New Braids? Oh, the new Braids. I think new Braids is, like, not good enough. They discarded another Seasoned Pyromancer. Eldrazi Elementals. Interesting. Them. I'm sorry to say this, but you should play Ragavan in your deck. Hold on, I need to sneeze. I think my opponents just put themselves down on board, right? To the den. Although I guess if they're repping a removal spell here, so I should play around that a bit better with Ragavan. I also feel like 4 endurance, 4 fury feels like too many of these cards. Game 1, like it's not, you know, not terrible, but I would very likely do something like 3 endurance, 3 fury, 3 endurance, 4 fury. Just probably not the full 4 of each in the main deck with no way to abuse the triggers with the card like Undying Evil, Malika Rebirth, anything like that. I think Matter Reshaper is like, you know, I know we joke on it too, but I generally like Matter Reshaper. I like to play like, you know, 4 of that card in all my Eldrazi lists basically. I guess I can. No, put this back. But that's just me. I guess I'm just kind of like a known obligator hater. I don't think the Seasoned Pyromancers are like super mandatory. They're obviously fine, but I don't think they're super mandatory. I will say that the sideboard looks solid. These Maguses like are a little awkward without any fetch lands for your. Oh yeah, you should be playing Prismatic Vista. I think you should be playing Vista. So you can be able to get Waste Mountain or Forest, and then that would make your Maguses a lot better post board. You could probably cut the Caverns. You could probably cut the Caverns, cut the Stomping Ground for 4 Vista, and then go down to Grove for 1 Mountain, 1 Waste, and 4 Fetchables. Maybe 1 5 Fetchables. You could maybe play 3 Vista, 4 Vegetables. That could be a good ratio. But it'll really help your sideboard Maguses be able to get your Forest. I like the sideboard though. I think it looks pretty good. Although I'd probably play Hearse over Relic. Yeah, you can search Waste with Vista. Ooh, Mono Blutron, my longtime nemesis. Obviously, this is the second time this has happened today, where we're up against. I think you play anything that counters this for 2 mana that I can't just replay off remand or something. Stinks every time we've been up against Tron today. We've just had a removal heavy hand. They don't cycle the Typhoon end of turn. I just never know what these players are doing. Oh, I didn't realize the webcam keeps falling. The tape is like... I'll need to retape it, I guess. It's like... Yeah, I see it's sliding. Come on. Tape. You know, we're just never beating this hand ever in 1,000 years. Just never beating that hand. Okay, let's submit like this, I think. Maybe I want to play 1 less Turok. Like it's kind of awkward against the counter spells. We'll play 3 bolts. She's so tired. Her and Athena have been playing a lot more lately. They've been playing Tug of War. They're outside this morning for a long time, too. 2 dogs and the cats. I would love to have a cat. I really love cats. I grew up with cats. I really think that Athena cannot coexist with the cat, though. She's just like... She would never leave the cat alone. She wouldn't hurt it, but she would just like... She just like would not leave it alone. She just would want to play with it constantly. And every cat I've ever like, every cat that's encountered Athena has like been immediately so afraid of her and immediately like incredibly uninterested in being around her at all. Just don't think it could ever work. I have Husky and 3 cats. Yeah, I really think it's a bad combo too, for sure. But I would love a cat. Would love a cat. So them playing Chalice on 0, I think there's a really good chance you could play Chalice on 1 next turn, so I'm just going to bolt them. Oh, they're dismembering here, so I'll bolt now for the Surveil. Thoughtseize isn't terrible. I do think that they're going to likely Chalice me, and... I guess I could discard it the Seasoned Pyromancer if they do, but it might be a little bit awkward on the curve anyways. Obligator is good against Titans. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it has its moments for sure. I will not deny that it doesn't have its moments. I could discard the Squee to Spyro. I think I'll just get more aggressive here though. I do think that Lucy could probably very easily coexist with the cat, though. It's a 1/1 Typhoon. Might be better if I might. I'm gonna try something. We might lose the Lucy cam, but I'm gonna try taping on top of the desk instead of underneath. Hold on. That way we work with gravity instead of against it. Alright, you dead, opponent? What's going on? Is Mono Blue Tron becoming more popular recently? I mean, people are just kind of playing their pet decks right now. There's definitely a lot more like brewing and goofing around than there typically is, I feel. Yeah, I would think that the new Eldrazi Obligator is not discounted by the Defiler. Don't people always play the pet decks? Yes, but I think people are to some extent playing them more than they usually do. I think we're gonna win game 2 here. Not sure how my opponent gets out of this. Their draw was crazy. Nattytron, double chalice. Guess I'm bringing in explosives for game 3. Yeah, I think this will solve our camera issues. Hold on, let me do this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's play like 2 explosives over 2 bolts. Click submit. What's my favorite pasta shape? I kind of like bow tie. Hopefully, Mingu doesn't hear this. I don't know. I don't know what good pasta shape is, but Esther does a lot of cooking with like bow tie pastas and like, you know. Yeah. It's usually really good. How's Squee felt? I think Squee's been really good. Or at least, like, you know, we're playing Squee over Kroxa with the theory that Squee, like, gives you that same kind of escape value while also just, like, being good for 3 mana as opposed to, as, like, opposite of Kroxa, which is, you know, bad for 2 mana. Is the thought. Do you think 4-color Omnath was to be played if Yorion was banned? So I get this question a lot, and I feel like it's good to get this take out there, because if it ever happens, I'm going to feel really smart if I'm right. And but obviously I might not be right. It's a very complicated question. What would happen if a card gets banned is always a really complicated question. So they drew... Okay, never mind. Cycling Typhoon before I get exiled with Voidwalker. It is my prediction, if Yorion is banned, the 4-color Omnath deck becomes better than it is currently. Where right now, you have to play Yorion. You absolutely have to play Yorion. Oh boy. So I guess I don't really want to play the Alpine Moon into this. But I can play the Squee. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought again. So right now, you have to play Yorion in the Omnath deck, otherwise you cannot win the mirror. You are conceding to the mirror if you choose not to play Yorion. However, if you don't play Yorion, you play the 60-card version of Omnath, you're weaker to Blood Moon, but you still are favored against Murktide, still favored against Yawgmoth, still favored against Hammer, still favored against Blue-White Control, which are already the decks that you're good against. However, your matchups against decks like Tron, against Burn, against Belcher become so much better because your sideboard is immediately much more impactful, and you're going to see those sideboard cards and interact with spells much more often. And so, it is my prediction that like the 4-color deck would become better positioned if Yorion was banned, but it's a very complicated topic with a ton of moving pieces and is ultimately like not really possible to say for sure Z's what would happen. So you should play a 66-card main inside all 15 cards of the mirror. I mean, no. Could agree with that. Yeah, so like at the very least, like this opinion that I have, this take I have, like it makes sense. Like I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, and like I think when you lay it out like that, it makes some sense. But obviously there's just like no way to know what would happen without actually doing it. But for me, also, it's Omnath is the card I hate. Omnath is the card that gives me, keeps me up at night. Can my opponent's hand is Factor Fiction Ballista mystery card? If the mystery card's a counterspell, good beats. Maybe it's Thirst. Typhoon. Cognizant, okay. Good beats indeed. Good beats indeed. Quinn, 19 months, thank you. Which has settings where Spike can get a hot take and no one can argue? Oh, with the ban thing? Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many complaints. You could argue. Like I will say I always love it when arguments are like, Spike, I disagree, and this is why I disagree, instead of, Spike, you're wrong. Because I just can't handle being told I'm wrong. But again, it's just I always love when it's like, Spike, here's a thought out argument on why I disagree. For me, Ren and 6 is much more of a Findo. Yeah, I think if you're in the camp of like Ren and 6 is the problem card, that's fine. I think that people like, I don't know, like I think that Omnath and Ren and 6 are like on the same level of like fucked up design to personally. I think this is just Wormcoil versus, yeah, but it's okay if you disagree. Squee and DRC feel bad sometimes. Sometimes, but also DRC feels good. Like this game, I got to connive a Squee into the graveyard with DRC. They definitely, I think they have more synergy than they have tension, especially because you have control over whether or not you lose Delirium or not. Yeah, I guess I do have a poo-filled Roomba, huh? Okay, they chose not Wormcoil. They chose Contortion Mine, Spirit Dragon, Hall. Ren 6 pops up fringe archetypes. That's just apparently one of the best decks in the format. I think it's a great argument. Again, like, both cards are poorly designed. Both cards are absolutely poorly designed. I don't think there's like a good argument against that even. But I will say that like Omnath combined with Yorion, combined with Ren and 6, combined with the Incarnations, combined with Ephemerate, the card is unreal. The card is like unreal in that deck. It just does so much for like 0 mana. And one important thing to remember too about Omnath, about Yorion and Omnath deck, Yorion is so much worse when you're not like able to just like always have that mana sink for the Omnath matchup, or for the Omnath mana. Like when Yorion just always has that Omnath, or when you have that Omnath mana, you always have Yorion to sink that mana into. Yorion becomes so much more powerful than it otherwise is. Okay, they're still 2 lands away from Urza or Ugin here. Well, they do have one of those lands in their hand. But I also have Den of the Bugbear. I'm not even sure that Ugin's like really that scary here. To be clear, I think Ren and 6 is fine. Omnath's bad. Yeah. I'm addressing like a few different points in the comments. I don't think Ren and 6 is fine though. I do think that Ren and 6 is like a really poorly designed Magic card, and I feel like Ren and 6 should have so obviously just had one less loyalty. It's like, it's so frustrating to me that like it just doesn't. Where when you're Ren and 6 pluses and you draw a fetch land off of it and it dies to Lightning Bolt, you still 2-for-1 them. But like it's like so intentionally designed to dodge Lightning Bolt as a 2-mana Planeswalker, which I think is just so dumb. I just think it's so dumb that it has 3 starting loyalty and not 2. In the same way that Oko's loyalty abilities are really unbalanced also. You could have the same effects, it just has way too much loyalty. And a lot of the Planeswalkers in that era have too much loyalty. Yeah, Teferi's a good example, for sure. Like Teferi, if Teferi had one less loyalty, the card would be like so much more reasonable. Also, I vibe with the combination statement. Thanks for the content. Take out thought outtakes. Yeah, I always like to have these conversations. I enjoy them. Okay, they tap both of their Tron lands to kill the moon. I do have another moon in hand though, so I'm not too worried. I can go escape Squee, Alpine Moon this turn. My opponent is... Okay, I guess I maybe need to Needle Ugin also. My opponent's hand is Ugin Mystery card? Yeah, Ugin Mystery card. So I guess we're not going to go for the Squee. So I'm going to name Urza's Power Plant. I think I care more about stopping Tron than naming like Hall of the Storm Giants here. Billboard, thank you for the two gifted subs. Would a pro white Torpor be a good solution for Omnath decks? No. I don't know. People always want to design like really obscure, like narrow sideboard cards, but I don't know. I just listen. Omnath's just a nasty card. Oh, they cracked the blast zone. I thought they were cracking the map. So I should have popped my Voidwalker for explosives and just put explosives on 0 in play, which is, you know, definitely a mistake, but not, you know, a back-breaking mistake, I feel. Deck type for Billboard. Yeah, this is how you do this. Founding Mill. Okay, good to sit down and look at this, I think. Interesting to see no copies of the land, the land that lets you... Okay, Remand does nothing. Explosive is the only card here that does anything. It's weird to me to see... What is that card called? Sorry. I can't afford it. Yeah, so I will say this, like... When there's, like, budget issues in the deck tech, it's tough to comment on those. I mean, I guess, although maybe in this case it's kind of easy, like... Just, you know, pick them up if you ever get the budget for them, or, you know, work towards them, whatever. But we can just focus on the rest of the deck. I feel like I like the look of the list a lot, the main deck. I do kind of feel like Maddening Cacophony is potentially a... They put the explosives in the yard. Okay, well, I just win, right? I do think potentially Maddening Cacophony is like a weak enough card that you're not that interested in playing it. 3-0 this league. Okay, we're up against Giganta the Wellspring. What has Pi been playing? Pi's been playing a lot of Omnath lately. I'm kind of surprised to see Giganta. Kind of don't feel like Pi would be playing... Oh, Pi's probably playing Breach. I would bet money that Pi is playing Breach. Okay, I'm going to bet 2 gifted subs that Pi is playing Breach, which is really only a losing bet for me. And do I want to keep this hand against Breach? Not really. Okay, don't love this hand either. I'm going to keep Squee. So if Pi is not playing Breach, I'm going to give 2 gifted subs. If he is playing it, then I don't have to gift anything. Ah, damn it. Okay. Somebody gift these back if an Underworld Breach shows up, I guess. Thank you, Spike, for the 2 gifted subs. Is that for a deck tech? Did I see Shizo's reprinted commander deck? I didn't know that. I imagined it would drop the price. So Shizo's definitely the kind of card that's like expensive for rarity, not demand. Supply, not demand. Bill's board, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate you. Another Thoughtseize on top. And I guess it's pretty resilient to that. Dude, Lucy is so tired today. She woke me up really early. I don't know why she's sleeping so hard now. Oh, okay. A sacrifice variant. Also, very interesting not playing the Thoughtseize this turn. Kind of like that line. We're definitely looking for another land, obviously. Graveyard that for Delirium slash, you know, it's not a land. And I know that they have a Thoughtseize, but I'm gonna crack this so I can get Delirium here and put more pressure on them. Oh yeah, so I think that it might be correct to. I think that in grinding spree, I guess that's true. A lot of the grinding station decks have been playing Oracle instead of Giganta, but I just feel like you play Grapeshot over Oracle, which is like better than Oracle, naturally drawing it. It wins the game in almost the exact same way, and also lets you play Giganta. I've kind of been of the opinion that like you just should do that in the Breach deck for a while, unless it's just like that hard to kill your opponent with Grapeshot, which I don't really think that it is. Ooh, Turok's really good against the Spyro. Nice play. So I guess I should be squeeing here instead of Spyro, because I don't want to make the Turok a 4-3. Bill's board, thank you for the tier 1. No blocks, wow. Having played both, I definitely felt Thassa was more consistent. I'll agree that Oracle is probably like, you know, it wins every time instead of Breach. And like in the late game Breach, you might not have enough cards to deal your opponent like 30 damage or something if you're playing against Omnath. But you get Giganta, and Grapeshot is like, it has got to be like the better card to naturally draw, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to send everything at my opponent, I think. No, they're not playing Turok. This is my Turok that they Ragavanned. I really feel like my opponent's putting too much value on this Turok growing, but... Because, like, now I don't know how much it matters that it's going to be a 4-3. They're just, like, so behind on board. They have the food token to gain life, I guess. I just have a Lightning Bolt. Some run both. They play Grapeshot over first Bolt. Yeah, that might be good. I think it's at least interesting, you know. What do you think of the new Jaya and the Fire's Pioneer deck? That could be a good spot for it. I really like the new Jaya. I've been wanting to register the card. I actually thought about playing Jaya in this list. Maybe we'll play Jaya over Turok next league. I didn't like quite have the the guts to do it, but maybe I just should. Maybe I'm getting overconfident because this league is going well. I bet Pie's playing Urza Saga. I think of the draw against the sack deck, I usually don't like cutting or like playing the Ragavans. I think I'll play Explosives instead of Moon, just in case there's no Saga over there. Oh, this is maybe a matchup where Inquisition's better than Thoughtseize. Like 3-3. This looks solid. I guess the Terminates might be kind of bad. Play like the first Moon. Yes, they play for Saga. I mean, there's just so many different sack variants. I don't know. Because, like, okay, my opponent could be playing a deck similar to this one. Because we didn't really see that much of the list. A deck similar to this one that's really in on artifact synergies. And, you're so color intensive, I really don't think you want to play Saga in this one. I do agree that they're probably playing it, so I'll play the Moon. But, like, they could just be playing, like, the more artifact-focused variant here. Punt and Wines Gen Sack? I don't think I saw Punt's list. Braids, Risen Nightmares, a pet card of mine is a bad or playable. I think the card's not modern playable. But you could, you could register it. Mardu Mentor Jaya. Spoken like a true Mardu player. Just get that curve way up there. I don't know, Mardu Mentor, I don't know. You have a lot of Discord outlets. It could be something better. Just very Mardu player comment. I don't know how to how to even say anything or how to describe it, I guess. Voidwalker should be very good. Let's try it. I know it's kind of land heavy. I saw Witherlight list as an upcoming brew for the channel. Yes and no. Like, I've had this list together since DMU came out. I had actually like updated this list before DMU, and I was like kind of like down to play it whenever we had some time. And then also, I think the first Weatherlight completed is good in the deck. I don't know when I'll get around to playing this, but it you know, definitely at some point, or likely at some point rather. Okay, let's go ahead and discard the Urborg. I think this might end up fixing my opponent's mana. Yeah, take a look at Punt's list. So it's on the Squirrel package, but bigger with Grist. I mean, I was okay in the sack variants. I'm not in love with it. Kind of an interesting blend of like the grindier version. I like to play with Coco, with like Devil, Kroxa, Grist, but no Kroxa, no Coco. Instead, we're playing like 2 Bolt, 3 Thoughtseize, and Cat Oven. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I feel like people always like to like. I usually hate Lightning Bolt in. I usually really dislike Lightning Bolt in the sacrifice decks. Just like, you know, Lightning Bolt's not that good anyways, and you have a lot of blockers for Ragavan, so you don't need Bolt for Ragavan that much, and it's just like a kind of non-synergistic card in a all synergy deck or high synergy deck. Although their Lightning Bolt's very good against exactly Dauthi Voidwalker. Damn it. Okay. I do feel like I need to play a 3-drop this turn. I can't just Moon the Saga. I think that I will be squeeing, attacking the Grist. Unfortunately, I can't Shizo to unblockable. I can't believe Modern's gotten to a point where Lightning Bolt isn't a format staple. Lightning Bolt is absolutely still a format staple. It is Sees play in Murktide, it sees play sometimes in Omnath, but it's a 4 of in one of the tier 1 decks in the format. It's 4 of in Burn. It's a 4 of in Prowess. It is absolutely still like objectively a staple, but it is not like, it's not a top 10 card in the format anymore. Living Engineer plus Unearth. I agree. I feel like the Grixis food deck is like with engineers pretty interesting. I've been kind of meaning to mess around with it too. Is Burn tier 1? Burn is like a good tier 2 deck, I think, or close to it. Kind of interested in trying to get Delirium on a channeler. The flying in this matchup seems really good. Maybe I could have attacked with the Squee first. I guess we graveyard that. I mean, I'm going to be casting a Seasoned Pyromancer next turn anyways. Returning to Coco soon for a league. I will at some point. There's definitely been like a lot of demand for it today. There's just a lot to do. We've got a new set. We've got new cards. There's a lot to do, and then I'm definitely feeling very motivated and like more focused on Magic since I finished Persona 5. We will definitely play more Bang Coco on the stream, for sure. Sorry, I forgot that this token enters attacking. I should have attacked with this goblin also. They get to testing as for Mentorless. Yeah, we played 1 league of that deck on stream so far. We 4-1'd with it, losing even our 1 loss. I don't even count it because it was against Tron. It went well. I liked it. We'll definitely play more. Oh, whoops! I messed up my Mana Traders trade for the Jayas. What did they sack? They sacked one of the insects. lose 2. Love to get Delirium. That's Delirium. I can graveyard that pretty easily. Do I ever hit the squirrel here? Do I ever hit the squirrel? If I heat the squirrel, I can attack with my goblin token so much easier. I think I'm gonna pressure the planeswalkers. I think it's also somewhat. Oh, sorry, I don't get delirium off the. Oh, I definitely should hit the squirrel. I forgot that I get delirium after. So we do get to kill the. We do get to kill the grist, but I think it's probably better to have killed the squirrel or heated the ob. Yeah, definitely not as good a use of damage as I might have liked. Although another heat is a good draw. Yeah, Stream Decker is probably down. It's like always down. What can I say? Some of the new wizards and old Wizards Pioneer. Yeah, I think that's likely a pretty good deck. So my current plan for Pioneer is there's one Pioneer RCQ this weekend in my local area. Oh no, they're escaping Kroxa this turn, so I lose my heat. I really liked my strategy this last weekend of just not telling people what I'm going to play, and I think I'm going to stick with it. But then, we'll talk about Pioneer more after this weekend. But I'll be testing off stream. I think I'm pretty dead here. Kill an ob, jump block here, huge hit. Let's go to game 3. Am I enjoying Pioneer? Yes and no. Like Pioneer, I feel like can always just be better. You know what I mean? Feels like it could always be like a little better than it is. Yeah, but I definitely have like a lot of ideas for Pioneer, and I'm like really interested in testing them. And if I find something like super sweet and interesting for the format, then we could talk about it next week, and maybe I get to take down the RCQ if I'm lucky. If I could inject cards into Pioneer, what would they be? I've posted a list of cards I would like in Pioneer that aren't legal. Most of them would not be, I think, like format defining cards, and a lot of them are like kind of like more old school modern cards that have kind of been like power leveled out of the format a little bit that were at one point standard cards. I've posted this a few times. It's like Hot Master of the Fells. Hot Master of the Fells is a Thragtusk, Lingering Souls, Electrolyze. Obviously the Ally Fastlands is like maybe number 1. I really like I did like the Modern Horizons 2. Yeah, okay. The Lightning Bolts are like nuts against the Voidwalkers. The Modern Horizons 2 card, the counterspell, it's 2 mana, counter trigger spell unless they pay 2, and then you can replicate it for 1 blue mana. I thought that card was like a pretty good solution to Pioneer's counterspell problem. The problem that there are no good counterspells. Okay, same Urza Saga, pass. Oh, actually, I'll offer the trade here. Logic not is fine. Logic not be unplayable in Pioneer with the other devil spells legal. Ooh, very good here. I guess I should probably be. Oh no, explosive. I can't explosives on 1. Maybe I can. Maybe I have to. I mean, so I kill 4 things of theirs and 2 things of my own. I'm like technically up a card, although one of the cards is a feeder, so it matters less. I was just thinking next turn I was going to go Chalice on 0, Seasoned Pyromancer. That was my plan for this hand. I wonder if I should play the Voidwalker first, because I would be able to exile the feeder and stops them from playing any 1-drops next turn, and they also don't get to draw a card off the spell bomb, no matter what. Playing Alpine Moon was real bad. Well, yeah. The idea with the moon, my plan was to next turn not crack the bauble, and I can just Seasoned Pyromancer with it, play explosives on 0, Seasoned Pyromancer with no cards in my hand. Then crack the bauble, untap with 4 cards. And then I have the explosives on 0 for their tokens and for Urza Saga constructs if they ever get rid of the moon. This line became way worse when they played 3 1-drops, or 2 more 1-drops. Ooh. So they're gonna lose their feeder if they just pop now. Yeah, I don't know that this line was just bad. Like I at least had a plan for it, and I had to pivot. Having the Alpine Moon in hand, becoming a 1-drop was strictly better. Becoming a 1-drop. I don't know what we mean by that. Oh, really surprised no attack with the squirrel. That was like a big mistake there. But you know, at the very least, you know. You might. I agree that this line, you know. I don't know. I feel like the line was totally fine. I actually feel like the line was totally fine. We just had the pivot plans. Watch this back as look at please. I promise you'll agree. I think we could maybe agree that you say your line, I'll say my line, but you don't. If you're right, that's okay. You just don't have to keep demanding me to acknowledge that you're right. You know what I mean? We could just move on. But I really thought my line made a lot of sense, where I'm going to be able to Seasoned Pyromancer with no cards in my hand, and I want to cast a Seasoned Pyromancer next turn, and so it's either like discard the Alpine Moon, make a token, or play the explosives on 1 and discard and not play it on 0. But I didn't want to play it on 1 because I had 2 1-drops to play. I want to play it on 0 the next turn and get some surveil value. But it's also like you insisting that you're right is not a good way to engage with the chat. Is there reason to pop right away instead of waiting until combat? They get to draw a card with the spell bomb if we wait. But yeah, I think that's the reason to not. All right, put in his hand. Definitely a good job of rebuilding. I'm so dead. Yeah, I'm super dead. Tough stuff. Probably not the best matchup. Although both games opponent having like that, or cyborg games, both games, cyborg games, both Voidwalker and turn 2 was rough. Point rewards to Pet Lucy. The problem is, what I didn't like about the Pet Athena reward was that with it always being on, if Lucy's just not there, then we have to like refund or have to talk about it all the time. It just gets kind of old. So why Squee over Kroxa? The idea is that like where Kroxa is just like not a good card for 2 mana, Squee is a good card for 3 mana, and they both provide very similar value from the graveyard with the escape. Maybe Kroxa is more powerful, but again, the fact that Squee is just like a reasonable card to play for 3 mana, where Kroxa sucks to cast from your hand, means you're going to be impacting the board in a much more lack of a better word, more impactful way every time you play it. I do think I'm going to play Channeler Bauble. Could obviously just like be a bit more mana efficient with the Squee. Yeah, we could get, if someone wants to make a command for Squee over Kroxa. I mean, I think it's like, you know, people are, oh, we have quad Baubles. obviously people can ask about it. It's like, you know, the whole thing of the deck, right? And I think also to some extent Squee lets you play, you know, the more aggressive version with Channel or Bobble too. Where, like, I think with Kroxa, like, you're, like, way more incentivized to play the slower build that I usually play with, like, Liliana. But I do think that this version making you more aggressive or allowing you to be more aggressive is interesting. What if it was a dote on pet redemption, where if they're not there, you just tell them how much you love them? I don't know. I also, like, I think that those kind of commands worked a lot better when the stream is smaller, but I remember it got, for me at least, it got, like, really old really fast. To have, like, the like, Spike does something kind of commands. Like, I liked, yeah, I guess you could do a cooldown on it, yeah. Like I like the one of day hat one. I thought that one was really good. I will eventually bring it back. Yeah, definitely ignoring Teferi here. Yeah. I think this is one short of lethal, but turning on a fetch land is super important. Could also hit something like Rin and 6, I guess. I will say also, like, if Squee was Kroxa this game, we're not like just the Squee was better than Kroxa this game. Obviously, you know, one game sample size, but I think it also, like, this game did a good job showcasing the idea of Squee, is that Squee is just, you know, good for 3 mana. and it also has escape, which is crazy. It's crazy that this card is good for 3 mana and also has escape. And it's like it's really, like, maybe not even, like, any deeper than that. It's maybe not any deeper than that. I think I'm starting to really come of the opinion that Squee is a sleeper from the set. My opponent's draw was also, like, not that good, but Squee was also, you know, like, objectively better than Kroxa there. Do you think in the future go with the split on Squee Kroxa? Very possibly, very likely. I will say it is definitely an option. It's definitely, like, a reasonable option to do a split. Okay, definitely a worse hand, but I'll still keep this. Phoenix of Ash. I do really like the new Phoenix. I haven't, like, really. I started to work on, like, a Hollow One shell with that card, and I've had a hard time getting, like, super excited about it, I guess. Whoops! I meant to play Mire this turn. Not that I'm getting, like, that punished, I guess. But his hand kind of flooded, and they drew this flooded strand for turn. Probably a little bit of a mistake. I guess they want to get the island, but maybe a little bit of a mistake for them to reveal that they drew another land for turn. I'm gonna attack the Rin this game. 2 top 8s over the weekend with Phoenix Chick. And in what format? I think deck fading will be a reasonable Monarch card. I do, yeah. I feel like deck could have been printed in the format. Maybe should have been at this point. I don't know. It'd be fine. Pioneer, and what deck in Pioneer? Like, just mono red aggro. A Phoenix Lord, that'd be awesome. So opponent's hand is Rin and 6, 5 lands, Yorion? Maybe 4 lands, Yorion? Yeah, 4 lands, Yorion. Stevens, Rin and 6, Yorion. I believe it's another land, hold on. And a mystery card. So I'm trying to do the Underworld Breach deck. Do you think there's any innovation? I do think there's some innovation for it. I will say there's, like, a lot of great minds, some of the best minds in Magic working on the deck at the moment. And usually when that's the case, when, like, you have people like Jesse and Ross and Corey, working really hard on the archetype. I don't spend a lot of time with it. Because it would take me a long time to like formulate super hard opinions. That being said, I do think that there's a chance it's correct to play Grape Shot over Thassa's Oracle so that you can play Gigantha. Gigantha's, this like dumb broken card, but this is modern. You want to play a lot of dumb broken cards. I think just trying to YOLO Delirium here is fine. It didn't work out. It didn't work out, but I kind of feel like it's fine. Oh, you could also squeeze better this deck too because of the legendary lands. I think I'm okay if just with them blocking it though. Next turn I can Squee play Channeler, although I guess I'd lose Delirium. Seasoned Pyromancer play Channeler maybe better, although I guess they're blocking this. It maybe doesn't matter. This Turok's just lethal. Thoughts on the Elves deck I posted on YouTube? I like the deck. I feel like I want to play some more Elves at some point. I really like Court of Calling too. I also have some new tech for it I'm working on, but I want to keep that a little secret for now. But I like the Court of Calling build, where you have so much card advantage with the new Lord Realmwalker. The selection matters a lot, especially with all the go wide Elves that you have access to with Dwynen's Elite and the other Dwynen's Elite, the new one. Okay, 4-1 that league, obviously not too bad. Did not get the 5-0 to get the 4-1. Oh no. Oh no, I clicked no on the prediction. Is there a way to undo that?